We're live. There we are. There's Dalton. There's Ronnie. Okay. Thank you. I'd like to call the Parks, Recreation, Culture Committee meeting of Tuesday, April 20th, 21st at 6:15, being held on the Subotsat lands that they share with us. It's going to be held electronically, transmitted via the council chambers located at 39 South Shore Road, Lake Cowichan, BC, as per the Ministerial Order M192. I want to remind people to mute their mics when they're not speaking, and also to remind people that there are two areas for verbal comment on the agenda. It has the phone number of 749-6681 to phone in. Comments for subsequent items on the agenda are at the bottom, just under question period. And the email is general@lakecowichan.ca. We appreciate questions and comments if possible. Are there any introduction of any late items? I see none, so can I have approval of the agenda, please, as presented? Councillor Vomaca? Nobody else? Mayor Day? All in favor? Thank you. Business arising and unfinished business, none. Ongoing items still being addressed. I think we said we were going to take the trail signage off because it's been installed, so we can, unless there's other trail signage we have. No? You're muted.
Just the Ted Burns sign. I think that's been completed. I think that's been completed, and I'm not sure if it's been installed.
Okay, complete. Was there another one that Zach was working on? No, I guess not.
That was it.
Okay, so just the Ted Burns completed and to be installed. Okay. Anything else on that? The park signage, I guess that's just
That's something that we'll be working on.
Ongoing. Okay. Delegations and representations, none. Correspondence, none. Verbal comment, gosh, we're going ahead quickly. I better talk really slowly, like Christia Freeland does. I love her. She's my hero. Anyway, verbal comment from the public on a subsequent item on the agenda, phone 749-6681 or email general@lakecowichan.ca. We'll wait 3 minutes to 6:21. Please phone in if you have any comments. Okay, it's 6:21. Any emails or phone calls?
Not at all.
Nobody loves us tonight. It's the weather. Okay, we're going to move on to number 7, reports. Superintendent Public Works and Engineering Services report for March 2021. I know Jazz wants to read this, so it's nice and short anyway.
Yeah, I'm learning. I'm starting to make them short.
Good for you.
So parks, the Stone Park upgrades for the play hockey box. It's been awarded to a company from Duncan. Sorry, the fencing has, and he'll be putting the fencing up around the park and the hockey box. And then we will have a local contractor come and put the boards up. Again, the parks planning and maintenance is carrying on for the summer, and then the gardeners are back to work and they're doing a great job. Gardens are starting to look good.
Thank you. I just had one question. Painting of the hockey box at Satlam, that's in the budgets. Is that ongoing soon?
It will be. We'll let it dry up some. We'll do it in the summer. We do have a budget for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Any questions from the council? Can't get out of this. Okay. Thank you very much. Cowichan Lake Education Center Manager Dalton Smith, I believe you emailed us a report. Did you want to speak to that?
I'll try and be brief as well, everybody. Bit of an echo, I think, here. Mine's brief, but not as brief as Jazz's was. That's pretty good, Jazz. Basically, the Cowichan Lake Education Center is continuing to have the School District 79 quarantine program happening, and it's been a big success for the center, and as well, it's very successful for the school district and our community as well. The program will end on April 29th, and the next program that we will do like that is going to be starting sometime in mid-August and coincide with the beginning of school for the School District 79 in the September opening, assuming schools will be open again. And of course, you know, we're doing everything according to health regulations, and strict protocols are in place, so it's been very successful. Lakeview Park is going to be opening. I know that's a question everyone always wants to ask and be reminded. It'll open the long weekend of May, unless of course we get different, you know, if Bonnie Henry decides that she's going to change things, then we'll go according to plans. And we'll be opening the park for, you know, active duty and having visitors like crazy on the night of the 21st. And prior to that, we'll make sure the park is ready for visitors. We're waiting for approval of the budget, and then we'll also make repairs on the waterfront walkway. And I think that's probably all I can tell you at this point, but I'm always open to questions, of course.
I just have one to start with. I believe Bonnie Henry said we're closed down until after the long weekend. That was her thing, because I thought that was kind of hard on people. So we might want to check that out. Now, Joe had your hand up.
Yeah, and I think Ms. Gill got something in today, and that she could probably speak to that.
Okay, so can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes. Yes.
So the park is opening, but it's only going to open to until it's allowed only open to local health authority. So people on Vancouver Island will be able to camp. We are going through the reservations currently to see how many we have and contacting people that are from Vancouver, the mainland and beyond.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Sandhu, did you have a question?
Ms. Gill just answered what my question was regarding reservations from people that are off the island. So thank you.
Good, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Vomaka?
It was just clarification, because Is it off of the island? Because if they say stay to your own, excuse me, health region, well, Island Health also encompasses Gibson's and Sea Shelt and Powell River.
No. I don't
So it'll
think
be only people on the island then.
Island.
Okay.
Island, yeah.
Thank you.
And again, people have been talking about this too. Like they say, if I live in Squamish, am I allowed to go to Whistler? And you're really not. You're really supposed to stay in your, you know, say within a, they're afraid to say like a 20-mile radius or something. So they say that your health, but we're supposed to go to Sayward this weekend and we're not going, even though it's in our health area, because it's a lot longer away. So it's really hard for them to figure out, right? I don't know how everybody else sees that, but stay home. That's it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Dalton, and thank you, Ronnie. Oh, Mayor Day.
Yeah, well, I did a little bit of homework and like when it says means health region, that means within Island Health, and not the name of our local area. It would be Cowichan Valley, and that has a little bit different boundaries than the CVRD, but almost as tight. Yeah, so just to make sure, because there seems to be a fair amount of confusion about what a health region actually is, but I do agree with your comments, because my personal comments is when in doubt, rule it out. But it's very hard to stop people from moving about. So
Yeah, there were a lot of people out of town here this weekend. I know I talked to people at Fields, and so there were a lot that were traveling anyway. I don't know what we can do about that. So thank you for those reports. No, any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to number 8, new business playground committee. I'm not aware of this. Mayor Day, is that yours? Is it somebody's?
no, that wasn't an item I'd introduced. I think Councillor Sandu might have something to say there.
Sorry.
Yes, thank you. I just wanted clarification on council's authority of appointment of residents to committees. Is there protocol of that, or is it like we've talked about select committees and whatnot? So, but council just can't appoint a resident to oversee something and bring a report back to council, or can they?
Did you want to clarify that, Christine, what that about the playground committee a little bit
Yeah.
more? Like, is there more to that?
Well, it's a question of, can council appoint a resident to do a do a report on what they see is required in playgrounds in our community? Is there protocol on that or not?
Policy? Joe, did you want to?
Yeah, I can speak to that. It's a select committee that you would be selecting, and that would have to be a membership of more than one. It cannot be just one, and there's got to be at least 2 members of council sitting on it.
Okay.
So you can't just have a committee that's just comprised of
Volunteers.
volunteers.
Okay, thank you.
Council that makes that decision then? The whole of council makes that decision, right?
Yeah, you will have to go out and advertise, set up the terms of reference, obviously. That's what we did with the other 2 committees that we were looking at. So
Okay,
you've got to set up the terms of reference and basically indicate what it is you're looking for. Can't just say playground committee and leave it be. You have to determine what the goals and terms are of that committee.
and people, if they have comments about that, like, here's the opportunity now to phone in and tell us if a certain park needs some work or they want something done, but we've already done our budget for the year, so we have to be careful.
Yeah, the other thing is you've got a Parks and Recreation Committee, so do you want to create another committee
No,
to report to that? It'll be a subcommittee, really, at the end of the day.
I think we have enough committees. I don't know how does everybody else feel? Does anybody else want to weigh in on this? I don't see, Councillor Vomaka or Councillor Bob Day, Councillor, whatever your name is.
Just don't call me late for dinner, which I
Okay.
am. So,
Mayor Day first, I guess.
but all that being said, there's nothing wrong with somebody with an interest in a topic appearing as in a delegation and making a presentation to council either. So,
Yeah.
That's fine, yes. And Councillor Vomaka?
Yeah, my comment was only going to be, of course, something like a parks playground committee, you still have to involve the OCP and the APC, and you would have to have somebody that was knowledgeable about those things.
Yeah, and we have a fairly significant, I think the budget's 270 something $1,000 for our parks that we seem to, we have budgeted, so we know what we're doing, I think, hopefully. And our superintendent, we trust him to know what to do, right? So anything else on that? Counselor McGonigal, I think I've been drinking.
You were having troth mubble. First day with your new lips.
That's right.
So we need someone with expertise. That would most certainly rule me out, Councillor Bomaka. But I think the implementation and the selection and the terms of reference reside within this body. We would look for input from those who have an interest in this, and we're still the decision makers on that. We've looked in the past on budgeting a certain amount per year for playground equipment, and we have negated to do that in the past. It's not within this year's budget, which is coming to final approval this month, I believe. So we've got to be careful on the selection of new infrastructure that may be needed and implement that within our strategic plan as we're looking at putting that forward as well. And I believe there is a section in that which speaks about playgrounds and parks, etc. So this is the body that would implement that, select or standing or whichever committee by resolution and terms of reference for sure.
Thank you. Anyone else on that? Okay, thank you. I guess that's the end of that now. Notices of motion? None? Public relations? Are there any other public relations we haven't gone through yet? Okay, so we're going to go to the last question period, a maximum of well, we did when they were in live, it said 3 minutes per speaker allotted to 15 minutes, but we're limited to items on the agenda. The phone number is 749-6681 and email is general@lakecowichan.ca, and we'll go to 6:36 and see if we get any questions or comments. Okay, I'm just waiting for Jazz and Ronnie. There we are. Oh, they're all here. Okay, thank you. Do we have any questions or phone calls, Mr. Fernandez?
None at all.
Oh my gosh, okay. I guess we call for an adjournment. Counselor Vomaka, Counselor Sandu, all in favor? And when we go off live, as I said, I had a couple of questions for Dalton and Jazz, just questions not on the agenda.